quest for adventure is on the rise. The quest for adventure is nigh. The quest for adventure is on the rise. The quest for adventure is nigh.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Quest for Adventure, the show where four cool guys have some D&D fun times. I forgot what I usually say.
Well, you say you're Caleb.
I'm Caleb!
I'm Bobby.
I'm David.
And I'm good. I'm
Somebody had to do it.
I'm Spencer.
That's Spencer. Alright, and we got an adventure coming up. Our theme for the adventure is... I forgot that, too.
Someone's prepared.
Wow, and they were bashing me
It's-
about putting off writing a short story. I don't even know the theme.
The theme is the floor below.
Floor below. I couldn't remember if it was the floor below or the something beneath.
What lies beneath?
What lies beneath, that's what it was. But before we get to any adventuring, Bobby, what the heck have you been doing these 4 weeks when David was being a lazy man?
Hey, my dad had surgery, you freaking idiot.
Anyway,
Such a
lazy man
man.
David gave us ample time to watch 5 seasons of Parks and Rec.
That a boy.
Is that all the seasons?
No,
we
there's
still have
7.
two more, yeah.
Okay. The last one sounds cool, where it's like the mildest science fiction there could be.
Oh, I don't know anything about it yet.
The last season just has like a lot of future tech, but it's chill. Like it's in 2017 or whatever I think is the setting. So I don't think that spoils anything, but it's really, really good. It's probably one of my favorite TV shows ever.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
What about you, Spencer?
There's been a lot. Like I got my wisdom teeth taken out and recuperated.
You did
from
that last episode.
That happened
Yeah.
last time. Get out of here.
Oh, that's right. No,
Jeez.
I keep
You-
thinking
you
from our
done?
last Skype episode. We had a live episode since then. So
Yeah.
yeah, I did a live episode of a podcast.
That was
how'd that
also
go?
last time.
How'd
Yeah.
that go?
Not great.
Ah.
There's a lot of Matu.
Yeah, I hear all those guys are lame.
Well,
Their podcast is way worse than ours.
well, we
Yeah.
couldn't do a lot
That
of
one
our
is real sexy.
Matt material couldn't happen, and that's a majority of our material. So
Yeah, it was trademarked by Uwe Boll, I think.
it was Matt marked, yeah,
Matt marked by Matt.
Matt marked. But
Bulge mark.
It was Matt by Matt.
Matt. But yeah, this week I'm back in school and I have like 4 tests this week, and I saw Unfriended over the weekend, which was pretty okay.
Is that the movie that takes place entirely in Skype?
Well, it's entirely on this one girl's computer screen, which makes it sound like the worst thing that's ever happened.
Holocaust? Eh.
But but it almost starts with a sex scene, so that's pretty sweet.
Almost. Was that
Almost.
Did that mean you just almost had sex before it started?
Well, they're on Skype, so no, no, it doesn't. My wife is not here this weekend.
What about you, David? What did you do this week?
Well, my dad had surgery, and
Playing
so
that card
basically,
again.
What a jerk!
dude, and he hasn't been able to lift anything over 5 pounds. And basically, yard work happens because my parents have a lot of land. Me just like trying to get in his way and do everything.
Trying to get in his way.
No, I need to.
Stand back. Well, this week, all the summer blockbuster trailers came out. I think we should talk about the one everyone's talking about, Joe Dirt 2.
Yep,
It is coming straight to Crackle. It's so good. Too good for
straight to
theaters.
crackle.
Did you guys watch the trailer?
I have not seen that.
It is not good.
No,
Yeah.
not like the original.
It just doesn't
Well,
hold up to that.
The
David
trailer
Spade
in
quality.
general is just different people from the first movie going, "Is that Joe Dirt?" And then he goes, "I'm Joe Dirt."
Exactly
That's
what
it.
is. I remember you. And then at the
Is that
end,
Forrest
he goes,
Gump?
I'm even stupider. So you know it's good.
I wish you were making some part of this up.
All right, guys. Are you ready for some Dungeons and Dragons? Yeah, we are, Caleb. Oh, you're a good-looking man. Oh, thank you, Spencer.
You're welcome.
I am a proud boy. All right, well, let's go. and he is in a darkened room. He's wearing a suit, a white suit with a red shirt underneath, and he approaches a stool, and he hops up on it, and then he looks at you, the audience, and he says, "Well, if you're watching this, I'm dead.
What? No!
Tired of these high rates?" And then he puts on a cowboy hat. "So come on down to Jaminko's Adventure Emporium, where we treat you like a..." And then a star fade to Cyril Evilbane, wearing a crown and a red robe. "Cyril, say your line."
Wing.
Oh, jeez. Star fade away from Cyril Evilbane.
Gosh.
"We got warriors, elves. You want dark elves? We got 'em." That's Jamanco. That's not how you spell Jaminko. Jamanco. Which one of you wrote that down? And remember, we treat you like a wing. Then Jaminko turns to you. You're all watching the new commercial for his new business on your big screen scroll-o-vision.
Nice.
And he says, "So guys, what did you think?"
I'm confused how this saves the High Realm.
Well, I'm part of the High Realm.
But what about the Evergreen Army?
Well, I'm part of the High Realm.
I don't think it's very good, Jamanco.
Well, aren't you excited? We're gonna have all this new income.
You didn't really tell them how to get in touch with you.
They
You
call
just-
my name.
You just kind of spelt your name wrong.
Which one of you wrote that down, by the way?
Me?
Oh, I'm not liking this new guy.
Eh.
Okay. He sort of ignores Drain Darksilver, the old curmudgeon, once again, and he says, "Well, listen, guys, if we're gonna start this business off right, we're gonna need to clear out the warehouse.
Ooh.
Doesn't that sound like quite an adventure?"
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
"All right, just follow me." He hops off, leads you down the hallway into the cellar. And you see in the cellar, for the most part, it appears the same, but there is a mirror hanging on the wall.
Where at?
And it, on the east side.
Gotcha.
And when you look at it, it appears to be a normal mirror, except for near the top, there is what appears to be a human ear on the mirror.
I listened to it.
You listen to the ear. Okay.
What is it
The
here,
ear-
Bobby?
The ear doesn't make any noises.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
Well, you might could have heard the ocean. Do you hear the ocean?
Ooh.
Do I hear the ocean?
Yeah, you kind of do hear the ocean, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Cyril.
Sorry, guys.
He points at the mirror and he says, "You see, I've always wanted to have a secret entrance. Any of you boys that want to go into the warehouse, all you have to do is say, 'Open!' And then the mirror starts folding in on itself, and then it disappears, and you see a doorway leading into this large, empty warehouse. You can see there are a few spotlights lit, some stands with a few items, and he walks through the doorway into the room. Do you follow him?
No.
I listened to the ear.
Yes, and the ear is still sort of hanging in midair above the doorway.
Oh, do we need to say open again?
I try to grab the ear.
All right. You can sort of hold on to it, lift yourself up,
Oh man, I do some reps on the ear.
while I just listen to it. You walk into the room, and you see on these pedestals are these artifacts. You see one is a pair of drumsticks, one is an acorn, and you see there are 6 others from various adventures you have, with the dates marked on these little plaques.
Oh.
And he says, "You know, we're close to..." And then the door closes you into the room. And he says, "Close to finishing the collection."
Mm-hmm. He
now
said
Drain-
closed, so it closed.
Do you have dark vision?
So much dark vision.
Yeah.
Too
I got
much?
100. I had 120 feet of it.
All right. Then you can see clearly through this room. It's quite empty and echoey. There doesn't appear to be any light. You see in the corner there are a few little tufts of grass growing, a few flowers,
Uh-oh.
and that's it. You can sort of hear your Jamenko's voice echoing through that big empty warehouse made of stone.
Well, what do we do now, Jamenko? What happened?
Well, I forgot to put an ear on the other side.
Can it not hear us through this wall? Is it soundproof?
Maybe if you yell.
What do we yell?
Open?
Open!
You hear it echoing through the chamber, but you do not hear the door opening.
Does anybody have any explosives of any sort?
I've got an explosive ukulele over here.
Oh, maybe you can thunderwave the wall.
All right, but it's probably going to take a lot of help. Can you guys come over here and stand by me while I do it?
I would gladly do that. I'll actually hold you up.
You can stand under my groin and do it. Do you do that?
No, I was just going to say I'm out of ideas that don't involve groin.
Okay, well, we can list your groin ideas.
We don't have that kind of time.
Will you pelvic thrust the
This
wall?
is a 2.5-hour show. We don't have time for all the
I
groin.
use pelvic wave. Woo!
You can sort of feel the room starting to get hot, and your heads are sort of getting light.
Hot because of pelvic
The
talk.
pelvic
Probably.
wave.
Because of the pelvic waves. Jamaica looks at you. What are we going to do?
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna lay down.
Yeah, heat rises, so if we lay down, we'll probably stay cooler for longer. Wait for help to come.
I'll just accept death.
Okay, would one of you like to look around the room?
I'll let you look around, Grayson.
No, I'm already laying down.
Oh. Do I see any pillows?
Any pillows? No, you do not see any pillows.
Any mattresses?
No mattresses. Unfortunately, most of the things that are in there are made of stone, other than the plant matter and the artifacts.
What kind of warehouse is this?
Not a mattress warehouse.
Yeah.
Our sponsor
Waggity
this week
schmaggity
is
doo.
Mattress Warehouse.
They owe us $50.
Well, I'll pick up Jamenko and then set him underneath Grayson's head so he has a pillow.
Aw.
That's what you're looking for, yeah. You can see in Jamaica's face, he's sort of starting to get nervous.
Being under my
Peering
head.
under your head, covered in your blonde hair. You can see his frightened eyes peering through the...
He looks so handsome.
only I can? Or can someone...
Everyone can, except Grayson. And he says, You guys remember when we got those drumsticks? I was there for sure.
I don't remember that.
Oh, well, it was when your first mission. It was your first day here, and you had
Was
to
it?
kill those skeletons. Well, not you. Yeah, forget my name. And then you hear this come from the corner of the room where the plant is.
All right, I want to go check out the plant. Wait, can I even see? I want to stumble toward the plant.
You better sneak over there.
I'm going to sneak toward the plant,
Give me
stumbling.
a sneak check then.
All right. I roll a... it's a 20.
Oh, man. you
Unnatural
are the-
20.
You unnatural 20. You rolled on one of those ghost die.
Woo!
Okay, you successfully sneak over there. There are some little tufts of grass, but they're strange. They're sort of this bluish color. And then you see this small flower. It has these, what appear to be 2 large fruits on it.
Hmm.
And you can see they were glowing. They're sort of starting to dim.
Hey, Jamaica, say something about things.
Pottery Barn makes the best waffles.
I've never been to the Pottery Barn.
Me neither.
They don't have that in the Eastern Continent.
They make great waffles.
That's pretty cool.
We'll have to go check that out. After we die...
That's okay.
On this episode of Quest for Adventure, everyone lies down and falls asleep from death.
Smackety smackety do.
It's okay, we've only mentioned the Holocaust a couple times.
We have to meet our quota.
Well, I don't know. Maybe does the fruit need to glow? And if so, does everyone need
Take
to
a
tell
bite.
the story?
Yeah, take a bite.
Take a bite.
I'm gonna take a bite of the fruit.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. You take a bite of it. It's this hard, incredibly hard fruit.
Oh, so his teeth break. Oh.
Not especially. Mostly just bitter.
gross.
Nothing appears to happen.
Okay.
Take another bite.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to take another
Sure.
bite. Whatever. Yeah.
Remember that time we killed all Jenko? They had that one guy was pretty cool. What was his name? Bodrick. That guy was pretty cool, right? Jumped out of those rats. Fruit doing anything?
Yeah, the fruit begins to glow, and you.
All right, bite it! Bite it
So
quick!
you can feel this wind blowing through your hair from the fruit.
I look beautiful.
He does look beautiful. My dark vision can tell.
Beautiful check. Well, guys, this breeze feels great. So maybe if we
It
tell...
also relieves you of your light head.
Well, guys, my light head has been relieved. And this
It
breeze...
also makes you look like a stupid idiot.
Well, guys, I look like a stupid idiot. So maybe if we tell more stories, then we won't die as quickly.
Oh, as quickly? I don't know.
I'm not
If
sure.
death is inevitable, I don't know if I want to slow it down.
He has just learned that death is inevitable.
But haven't you seen the cult classic with Matt Damon, who is clearly the principal character, Interstellar, and that prolonging death is our only goal as a human species?
You mean Pearl Harbor?
Oh. I
You're all
retract
just
my
going to get
statement.
killed by planes.
The planes were the antagonists in Pearl Harbor.
Oh, I hate those planes. They trapped all those nice Japanese people. He walks over to the fruit, sniffs it, does not take a bite of it,
No.
looks at Cyril, squints at him, and continues to not take a bite of it. And he
Coward.
says, "Do you know what this is?"
Yeah, but just for everybody else, what is it? You know, I don't want to...
Okay, yeah, he looks at Grayson, trying to take a nap. You see, this is lore fruit.
Right.
Yeah, lore fruit. You've all
Yeah.
heard of it.
Yeah. But just in case, like, how does that pertain to what's going on?
Well, we are very fortunate, because lore fruit is the fruit that consumes stories.
It sounds like a really weird, like, 90s cereal slogan.
Go on.
That's where that thought goes. It's where it lies. Lore fruit, the taste kids can see. And it consumes stories.
You're right, that is a really weird slogan.
Sorry.
Alright.
Okay, I don't know what any of that meant.
No one's gonna top that.
See you later, everybody. See you next week. Okay, Jaminko pulls out an old leather-bound book, and he says, "Luckily, I always keep stories right here." He rubs the front of the book, and he says, "Would you boys like to hear a story?" He sort of caresses Grayson's head as he's laying down. He
No!
scoots back under you, under your head.
Let him accept death as a man.
Just let me die.
It's inevitable. Okay, he says, "Well, okay, this is my book reading voice."
Wow.
And he says, "Well, this is a story I wrote by J.R.R. Paul. The Spire is a peaceful place. It's an enormous natural tower of stone, dotted with windows that glow with candlelight against the night sky. The halflings that live there like their life in the same way I like my women, sweet and simple. But unlike my ex-wife Veronica, the halflings of the Spire don't get around much." And he nudges Grayson. You see, they remain isolated. Most halflings go their entire lives without seeing the wonders that the world brings. But occasionally, a little bit of wonder comes to them. Rupert the Red. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. This is an original
Just
story
singing.
by J.R.R. Paul.
Just singing.
Rupert the Red was one of the last immortal wizards. He had a strange disposition and the kind of medical marijuana dependency that only centuries of dead loved ones could provide.
That's
I
awesome.
think you stole my story.
He stuck out like a sore thumb in the spire. He was tall and lean, with an enormous gray beard and long gray hair. He towered over the halflings. As he approached the spire, he could already hear the traditional halfling music. The halflings would, simultaneously, play stock sound effects of pirates fighting and Van Halen's Panama while doing some serious crabcore dancing. Rupert was...
How do you crabcore dance?
Oh, maybe Bobby should explain. He's the expert here.
Bobby? Who's Bobby?
I don't know.
I mean Grayson.
I don't know. It's whatever. I'm trying to sleep.
He always look very tired.
You bend your knees till your legs are horizontal with the ground, and then that's it. You kind of just wiggle.
Oh, gosh. That is pretty crabcore. You're right.
Rupert was excited to enjoy the festivities, but he stopped at the entrance of the massive structure when he saw an old friend staring at the moonlight, leaned against the outside wall. "YOLO Braggins," announced the old wizard. YOLO was named that because his parents were two frat brothers who met at a backwards hat and flip-flop convention. The young halfling turned around, a smile now on his face. YOLO was not like the other halflings. He was outgoing and dreamed of adventure. Rupert had become very close to YOLO in his visits to the spire. He admired him greatly, but today Rupert saw something that sent shivers down his spine and urine down his leg. When Rupert went to embrace his old friend, he noticed he was looking much more stylish than usual. He saw something on his wrist, a bracelet.
Perhaps bling.
Some might say that. Did we write the same story?
Well, you do
Did you
know
just
there's
take my
something...
story into a find replace for bracelet with bling?
Bling.
Well, do they have the Fellowship of the Bling?
They do not.
YOLO Swaggins?
YOLO Braggins. Is yours YOLO Swaggins?
Well, you do know that's something on the internet, right?
I do not.
Well, you do now.
Good lord. Yeah, because this is on the internet. That's correct. He saw something on his wrist. A bracelet. Rupert was suspicious of the artifact immediately, but remained calm. Certainly YOLO wouldn't be so foolish, Rupert thought. The two embraced. Perhaps I could tell you a story, Master Braggins, Rupert began. YOLO's eyes widened. A lot like Veronica when she settled down with that douche Thad. The year was 1988. The Dark Lord Karnak tricked the elves into forging 19 slap bracelets. 3 Garfield bracelets were given to the elves. 7 Magic Johnson bracelets were given to the minor celebrities. 9 Beetlejuice bracelets were given to men. And in secret, Karnak forged 1 bracelet of ultimate style to rule them all. It was one of those bracelets that you move back and forth, and they make a little animation. It was that scene from Mac and Me where the kid in the wheelchair falls off the cliff.
What is going on?
Soon, war erupted. Karnak attempted to use the bracelet as an ultimate weapon to conquer the world. The armies of the world gathered for one final battle on Mount Dew. Bob Hoskins, from such films as Who Framed Roger Rabbit and the Super Mario Brothers movie, cut the bracelet from Karnak's wrist, scaled the mountain, and stood at the precipice. Above the hot green glow of the drink below, he stared at the object. Mac and Me is timeless, he said under his breath. His close friend, probably LeVar Burton from Star Trek, TNG, and Reading Rainbow, spoke. Bob Hoskins, what are you waiting for? Throw it in. Bob Hoskins, who played Shmi in the movie Hook, looked over his shoulder. His eyes were narrow. No. It was that day that the will of minor celebrities failed, Master Braggins, Rupert said. YOLO's eyes lowered to his wrist. Rupert understood. The two rushed to the spire's uppermost floor. YOLO stretched the bracelet between 2 clamps and lit it with a small candle. As YOLO slowly rotated the construct, Rupert questioned tensely. What do you see? YOLO spoke. It looks like a young man barreling down a cliff on a wheelchair. Rupert could feel the tension running down his leg. Well, that could be any great film worthy of award, he assured himself. Yolo turned it a bit more. Now, oh man, he flew off the cliff, Yolo exclaimed. Well, that could just be that scene from Rain Man, Rupert said nervously. Oh, he fell into the water oh, I guess that's it, said Yolo, somewhat confused. The tension left Rupert's shoulders as he took a deep breath and felt the cold night air on his moist legs. Ah, it was just that scene from Rayman, Rupert said with newly found ease. Wait, Yolo shouted. I see something. Rupert's eyes began to blink obsessively as he quickly stroked his beard with both hands. It looks like a strange but friendly alien, Yolo said excitedly. No, Rupert belched. Why, it's Mac, Yolo exclaimed as he pointed to the mural on the ceiling that was the cover of the VHS of Mac and Me. Rupert began to quickly pack his things. You must meet me at the council hall in Pinnacle in 10 days' time, Rupert said hurriedly as the two scaled down the floors of the spire. And remember, Master Braggins. Rupert stopped as he walked through the door. He leaned into Yolo to a distance that can only be described as fisheye lens close. Yolo could feel Rupert's breath. He smelled like Bonnaroo during a Grateful Dead guitar solo. Rupert whispered worriedly, You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. With that, Rupert disappeared into the night. The next morning, Yolo stared at his last meal before he left. A touch of donut icing hung on the corner of his mouth. Where do you think you're going? Yolo heard from the doorway. He turned to see his old friend, XX Acid Bath _777. He had named himself. But most people just called him Sid. Sid! Yolo exclaimed with a dopey smile on his face. Sid walked over and removed the icing from Yolo's face with his thumb. Is there something going on between these two? Questioned the audience. I'm leaving, Yolo said. He noticed Sid was wearing a large backpack. I know, Sid said with a knowing smile. The two embraced as they rubbed each other's ears and giggled. Did you tell Maisie you were leaving? Questioned Yolo. No, explained Sid. I couldn't bear to say goodbye to her. Sid paused. You know, I'm going to marry that girl someday, Sid said as he looked at the sunrise. The audience was thoroughly confused. The two traveled for days, through the giant thorned hedge, across a river as black as night, over hills of yellow grass, between figures of stone, probably in and out of my ex-wife Veronica's bed, into the filming of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, past Twisted Sister recording the music video to Burn in Hell. But soon, they arrived at a La Quinta Inn. They were relieved, because at La Quinta Inns, the staff is here to help both business and leisure travelers find their inner optimist. Your travel dollars go further with great rates and many free extras. Enjoy a free breakfast, comfy beds, and other amenities delivered with friendly service and a dose of humor. This story is brought to you by Best Western.
What?
As they entered, dozens of dark elves turned and looked at them silently. The elves were lined up with their chairs facing away from the two halflings, towards the stage. The tallest dark elf, who stood at the front of the crowd, motioned at the two. Well, I suppose we welcome all kinds. Please, introduce yourself. Awkwardly, Yolo spoke. My name's Yolo. Hi, Yolo, the crowd said in unison. I was just wondering if you would have a place for us to stay tonight, Yolo said nervously. Then Sid added, We don't need anything nice, and we don't take up as much room as you drow. The dark elves started angrily murmuring. What's wrong with you, boy? The tallest elf said. Yolo leaned into Sid. You can't say that. Only they can say that word. Yolo said, frightened. Sid put up his hands. Whoa. It's okay. I have dark elf friends, and they let me call them that. So it's cool. Sid put a single fist into the air. Am I right, my drow brothers? I hereby sentence these two to death, said the hangman, who was about to knock the stools from beneath Yolo and Sid. That escalated quickly, Yolo noted. As Yolo looked at the faces in the sea of angry elves, his life flashed before his eyes. He could remember his first kiss, a young halfling who was probably named Veronica. He probably remembers how she said they'd be together forever. But then he caught her getting to second base with that cardboard cutout of Dax Shepard. He probably remembers how she took everything but her stupid cat. And now he's stuck feeding it and cleaning up cat crap. And seriously, Veronica, what do you expect me to do with this thing? Yolo nervously played with the slap bracelet in his pocket. He could feel the bracelet calling to him, almost as if in a trance. Yolo pulled the bracelet from his pocket and slapped it onto his wrist. The mob that was once cheering for blood is now outraged. "Get him down from there!" yelled many members of the crowd. "I'm sorry, sir. You must be the president or king or something, right?" said the hangman. "Or God himself!" added an elderly woman. "We didn't know. We were sorry." The mob began to crowd around Yolo. Yolo tried to push the crowd, but they began to grab at him. Suddenly a voice came from the back of the crowd. "Mac and me's not that great," said a man standing in the darkness, leaned against a post. The mob gasped in unison and parted to reveal a shadowy figure. He had a hood hiding his face, but the slow glow of the pipe he was smoking shone through the darkness. He was tall like an elf, but muscled like a man. He had a large sword hung on his shoulder. The figure pulled back his hood. "The name's Garen, Ranger of the North, heir to the kingdom of men. Unhand those boys." His face was tough but gentle. He had a long black hair and deep blue eyes. His scruffy beard accented the dimple in his chin. Then that old lady from earlier ran up and cut his head off. "Nobody talks bad about Mac and me," she screamed. The entire mob ran into their houses and began to fill pillowcases with batteries and beat the ranger's dead body. During the commotion, Yolo undid the knot holding Sid and fled into the darkness of the forest. Yolo and Sid ran for what seemed like hours before they finally collapsed between two large rocks. The two began to slip into a deep sleep. Sid could see Maisie, almost as if she were right in front of him. He could hear the simultaneous sounds of a teen karate class and It's My Life by Bon Jovi play as he and Maisie did floor punches together. She became only a warm light on his face as he awoke. The sun was shining on his cheek. As he looked up, he shook Yolo. "Mr. Yolo, look!" Yolo looked into the sky. He could see an enormous tower towering over them like a tower. They had made it to the pinnacle. The camera pulls back. Back some more. A little more. Credits roll. And the audience is like, "Is that it?" The end. So, what did you guys think?
Why don't you just always talk in that voice?
That's my reading voice. It really hurts my throat to do.
It seems like it would be the opposite, that your normal voice hurts your throat.
What do you mean?
Nothing. That was really good. Where did you get that?
I wrote it. It's a story I wrote by J.R.R. Paul. When he finishes the story, you see the fruit glow, and then you hear, and you feel a cool wind blow through the chamber.
Feels pretty good.
Well, I'm all out of stories, guys. Dre, do you have a story?
But it turns out that Drain had died from the heat.
Turns out they need a lot more oxygen. They're like, yeah, you send like dark elves into like a coal mine. What do you send into a coal mine?
Canary.
People.
Yeah, people. That's right, poor people.
I'm back.
He's conscious again. That was a close one. So, Drain, maybe you have a story you could tell.
I'll tell one later.
All right. So, Cyril, maybe you have a story you could tell.
Well, let me tell you. See, I was hoping that you had another story in that big old book, but it's a good thing that I have all of my texts here with me, and I start pulling out of my backpack. I have all these different, like, giant scrolls and pages of varying sizes, and you can tell some of them are much more aged than others, and some of them are scrawled, and they're just everywhere, and they're aged and different and stuff. Okay, there's a lot of papers.
That's rich. That's a rich... You're
Thank
painting
you.
a picture with words.
Well, then get ready for the rest of this. Sit back and relax as I tell you the tale of Dandy Hook the Ragamuffin.
I'm excited.
I don't know how to follow up what just happened, but I will try. Here it goes. There's a story that's told of a time long past in a place that people can't name. Some words we forget and some we misplace for their lack of glitter and fame. Not all stories have heroes and swords. Some have spells and beasts by the few. This story begins just like all of those, because it begins with a shoe. So, this is the point in the story where most listeners would pelt the ancient bard with whatever was available to them. Usually it consisted of live animals, dead animals, or animals that were alive but dead on the inside due to lack of fulfillment in their marriages.
We have a lot of weird marriage jokes.
Yeah, it was just normal, like, you suck, throwy style stuff. The rest of the story is traditionally in free verse because no poetic text survived. Some count that as a blessing. Continuing, the story begins with a shoe, or more accurately, I suppose, a boy who wanted a shoe. There wasn't really much special about the shoe, but most of the original texts indicate that the boy liked it most just for that very reason, that there wasn't much special about it. Dandy Hook was the boy, or Dandy, as most of the people in town called him. This was a bit of a misnomer. You see, the oldest text that the scholars can find showed that the boy's name loosely translates to man of poop mouth. But that doesn't actually mean anything. Somewhere along the story's history, a bard came up with the name Dandy Hook, and it kind of stuck. So since then, the boy is depicted as having a nose that healed a little off-center after it was broken in a fight, rather than having a poop mouth, whatever that would be. Now, Dandy wanted the shoe very much because he saw himself in it. Not because it was one of those cool reflective night shoes, but because he believed it to have promise. Dandy was a ragamuffin. Though this word is seldom used today, the great scribe sorcerers Merriam and Webster define it as meaning a boy that wanders around a place in torn and dirty clothing. Dandy was such a boy. He never knew his parents, if he had any, that is. He often claimed that, and you guys will have to excuse my poor voice work. I'm still a low-level bard. The streets are me mum, and me dad's a pisser. So, if we can take the original translations literally, he just sort of appeared on the streets, and someone was peeing there, but that's pretty unlikely. Now, you're probably wondering about that shoe. There's a lot of build in stories like this. Have you ever seen the scrolls that people write this kind of stuff on? I mean, who needs a 5-foot scroll that rolls out to express the idea fireball? Come on. But, yeah, he wanted the shoe, but as ragamuffins often are, Dandy was stone cold broke, you dig? Well, what is a ragamuffin to do other than to steal the shoe and run off into the bustle of the summer's market crowd? So Dandy stole the shoe and ran off into the bustle of the summer's market crowd. Okay, at this point in the story, in the original text, there's a bit of a divide. Much like many of our other texts that come from centuries ago, there are multiple different copies of the text found in different locations. They often have small differences. Dandy Hook has a lot of big differences in its origin texts. The two main ones were written by the followers of the long-dead god Matu, and then the Way of the White. Now, in the Matu text, Dandy Hook is caught immediately after grabbing the shoe, and then executed publicly. There are even lines in the text about how the last thing that he saw was an empty space in the crowd where his mother would be seeing his death if he actually had one. No idea how that would actually work, though. It's pretty dark, and the followers of Matu are pretty messed up. The rest of this, I'm just going to go with the Way of the White text, if you guys don't mind.
Oh, that's fine.
In the non-Matt tainted text, Dandy ran through the crowd. He dodged the old butcher, he slid past the baker, and he shouted a hurried hello to the candlestick maker. Dandy ran like a boy possessed. And then he was. Dandy heard a voice. Why do you run? Thinking it was just a trick of some sort, Dandy ran even faster than before. Stop, so that you might understand, the voice suggested. Dandy did not recognize the ethereal beckoning, so he surged ahead even still. Once he left the market, he found himself galloping through the familiar town garden, home of the singing swans. Okay, so really quick, there is no record of anything resembling a singing swan in any historical documents that I can get my hands on. Additionally, no one knows what town this even is supposed to be. It isn't even named in the story. Now, Matu sympathizers note that this lack of information should condemn this translation, but as previously mentioned, nobody really likes the followers of Matu. So the official stance of most scholars in the Eastern continent is, screw those guys. As Dandy topped the small mound in the garden center, hoping to find his way out of the town proper, he stopped. He didn't want to stop, but that's kind of just what happened. He commanded them and then pleaded his legs to carry him forward, but he seemed completely stuck. If you won't stop for me, I can certainly have it arranged. Dandy did what any child with half his moxie would do in a similar situation. Oi, you let me go right now, whatever this is. I got moves and I can fight you, and you don't want none of that. Very impressive, the voice responded condescendingly, but won't that be difficult, what with your inability to move and all? Dandy steamed in his spot. Now stop fighting me and listen. The voice went on to explain that her name was Calliope, and that he was destined for something big. Now Dandy had great love for all things big. He loved big bottles of milk, big balls of string, big fish, and many more things. Because of these distinctions, he is often depicted as an anthropomorphic cat in many artists' renderings. He isn't a cat, because cats can't talk, and that would be ridiculous. Regardless, Dandy was piqued by Calliope's prediction. Well, all right, then, you let me go so I can get doing big stuff. It isn't that simple, little one, Calliope said with a laugh. You'll need some help. I don't take help from nobody, Dandy replied with a snort. Nobody's done nothing for me. Why should I want them to start now? The voice stopped, buffed by the young man's refusal to seek any sort of assistance. Boy, you cannot do this alone. You will need others. Calliope sensed his true apprehension. You can do great things, Dandy. Don't doubt that. Her words struck Dandy, but he wasn't about to let it show through his rough exterior he had concocted. Why should I listen? And Dandy stopped. In much the same way he was hearing the voice, he now heard the sounds of a fight. No, get away from me! Unhand me this instant! Callie? Dandy's voice squeaked. I said don't touch me! Dandy! Dandy, you have to find Rosalind! Seek Rosalind, boy! The voice trailed to little more than a whisper, repeating the same word, Rosalind. As it echoed its last time, Dandy realized his invisible binds were loosed. Well, more accurately, he fell in some goose poop. But that doesn't sound super cool, so we usually don't say that. And that, I'm sad to say, is where all modern translations of the tale come to an end. For centuries, traveling scribes have been scouring this plane and the next, looking for more to no avail. Or at least, not yet, anyway. I have a buddy back home who claims to have a lead, but my whole life is a lie, I just found out, so who knows. Maybe time will tell what happened to Dandy Hook the Ragamuffin, or maybe someone would just write something new, and it'll be kind of like when they wrote those prequels to that one popular series of tales. I mean, the third one was really flashy, but did anyone really care about where the original came from? You know, those. Why do we need to see all those kids? We liked the grown-up versions a lot better. I don't know. Anywho, I'm all used up. Who's next?
We were talking about Muppet Babies, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Is this a pup named Scooby-Doo?
Pup named Scooby-Doo. That was the Scooby-Doo theme song.
I gotta give me some of that goose poop. Okay, you hear soft billow come from the fruit as it glows, and you can feel cool air once again blowing through the room.
Is the fruit still attached to the tree, or?
That depends. There were two fruits on it. Did Cyril take it off to take a bite of it, or did he just lean down and bite the fruit?
I just leaned down and bit it.
Okay, like a chicken. Did you put your hands on your hips before you did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to take them both off the tree and
Okay.
spike them on the ground.
You're gonna pull a Matt, are you?
Are they smashed?
They're not. They are very tough fruits.
Can I use Eldritch Blast on them?
You could.
Alright, I would like to roll for that.
Okay.
Hey, I got a 19.
19 hits fruit.
Are they, and I did 6. Are they smashed?
They fly across the room in pieces.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to Quest for Adventure.
The end.
We call that move called the divorced parents.
Gosh.
That is not laughing matter.
Okay, you sort of see Jaminko gather up the pieces in a pile, sort of pats them, tucks them in with Grayson's hair. They'll probably be okay.
What if they aren't?
They'll probably be okay. Maybe we get some of that goose poop.
Maybe.
You have a story? Drain?
No. Well, I mean, I do, but I don't know if anybody wants to hear it. It's kind of current, as in not in the past.
Go on.
Some would wonder how I could know about it.
He leans
But maybe I'll tell it later.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
You got a story, Grayson?
What? Huh?
I mean,
What happened
just
to
go
the
back.
fruit?
Just go back to sleep.
No. I don't know any stories, guys, but you know what I do got? I got a new stand-up routine that I'd love to test out on you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll tell a story.
No, I'll listen. I'll let you know if it's good or not. Been working on it since you left the high realm.
I've
Since
been
you left
working
the
on it
Eastern
since I was 11.
This is your
Since you
new
left.
After that 10-year-old stand-up routine, you really needed to go back to the workshop.
Yeah, they were not having it. My first draft. But now I think I got some more life experience, and I think I got it now.
All right.
You guys ready?
No. It was pretty bad before you left, but I'll go ahead. Go ahead, Grayson.
Okay. Thanks. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome to the... Oh no. Oh god.
And he started strong. Let's see where he goes from here.
Okay. Welcome to the Stilted Comic. I'm so glad people actually showed up to this thing. I'm Grayson, and I'll be telling jokes for the next few minutes or until you pelt me with a mushy tomato.
Just pelted with food.
Boo!
Oh god.
How about some lore fruit?
Yeah.
Pick up the lore fruit and throw it at him.
It's hard.
I don't know why you're friends with that guy.
Left a whelp.
Good.
Why are we friends? Let me tell you a little bit about myself, guys. I grew up in a big family with lots of brothers.
Oh, sorry.
I'm the runt of the family, and oh boy, my older brothers would always let me know. They didn't call me runt, but it rhymes, so that's close enough.
Hey!
All right,
oh,
all right.
Hey!
I was a lot different than them growing up. I used to sit in the library all day while they would spar in the Stormvale courtyards, and it's not because I like to read. It's not.
Is it because you're an idiot? Dummy! Freaking dummy!
Good delivery. I can't tell if I was crying or Grayson's crying in character.
Grayson's a friggin' baby.
Oh, it's not. You see, I got a real problem talking to people. So instead of talking to people now, I usually just punch them. I find that's a lot more direct and conveys more emotion.
Is this stand up just because you're standing, or
Relatable!
No, I'm laying down.
laying down on the job, or just a lay down comic? Oops, sorry, comic. Boo! Boo!
Let's go back to the old standby of just saying boo.
Speaking of anxiety issues, can I talk about my dad? Anyone here got a dad?
Oh, me!
I don't.
They're the worst, aren't they? They never treat you like a man or give you any respect for your entire life until they demand that you kill them so they can die in battle. Then they leave you with a ton of emotional baggage, not only from your childhood, but also from having murdered them. Anybody have anything like that? Yeah, I totally feel you guys. Dads really suck.
What about moms?
I'll get the moms.
Are moms tough?
You know what doesn't suck? Girls. They never suck. Anyone here a fan of elves?
Wait, fan of elves?
I can't wait
Yeah.
till great.
I raised my hand.
Let me tell you a little something about elves. You've never lived until you've made it with an elven girl, you know?
He's right.
The best thing about elven girls is that they always look like they're 16.
He is right.
Seriously, For hundreds of years, they attract pedophiles from all around the world. But then one day, they look in the mirror, and it's like, oh my god, I'm 1055. What happened? Then you have...
I like that one, yeah. That turned the crowd around.
Then you have to deal with the elven midlife crisis, where they freak out and buy a bow shaped like a phallus. Or they try to be hip and braid their hair like a 200-year-old. And that's just embarrassing for everybody. Back in Egress, we've got tons and tons of elves, and they're all debagging it up, trying to look cool, because they see their death on the horizon. And I'm all like, chill out, I'm gonna be dead before that wrinkle in your forehead's even done forming, and you don't see me crying. My first girlfriend was actually elven. A drow, actually. Her brother still gives me crap about it to this day. Yeah. I remember the day he found out. He found a book of hexes in the library and tried to turn my junk into a rotten cabbage. Sometimes I pee green, but I don't know if that's because of that or not.
Gosh.
Also, my left bicep is a little bigger than my right one, but I think that's something else too. I wonder how that happens. I'm right-handed. I carry my sword in my right hand, and my shield ain't that heavy, so why do I have a crab arm on my left arm? My dad had some kind of problem with his hands. They were monstrously disproportionate to his body. But I always thought they were just caused by really bad bee stings. I thought about chopping a little bit of muscle off my left arm to even it out. I do have a little halfling buddy that could use the extra muscle.
Woo!
That is, if he doesn't pass out from holding it.
Is this stand up or just kind of like a confession sheet?
He worked 10 years on this.
The blurred line.
All of it, you can tell he wrote it like right before he needed to write it. So all this information is very recent.
In all seriousness, he's a good friend, but I wouldn't get on his bad side. He once stabbed an old goblin mother in the back. Oh yeah, and there was this one time he got in a guy's head and pretended to be God. I think that guy
so
killed
true.
himself.
Jamaica looks shocked.
Relatable. Relatable.
Alright, you guys look like you're getting restless. How about some cheap jokes? What's blue, sludgy, and gross? My dead best friend.
God.
But I'm fine.
Alright, how about this one? What did the youngest son say to the dad at his 8th birthday party? Please don't hit me in front of my friends.
Gosh.
This is dark.
Alright, too real. That one's too real.
Make a note.
Maybe I'm not so good at these.
Oh, you're great. Keep it up.
Maybe I'm not good at anything.
No, you're good.
Maybe I'll just kill myself.
No.
Whoa.
And this is the part where my hot assistant would wheel out the fake noose and I would fake hang myself on stage.
He's a method actor.
I haven't figured out how that's going to work yet, but it's classic comedy. First people are going to be like, oh no. But then they'll be like, oh my god. Then they'll be like, whew. And then they'll be like, ha 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 ha.
He's right.
Just a joke, guys. I'm not really dead.
Right.
You're at a comedy club, dumbos. You should have expected some jokes. You should have seen the look on your faces, though. Our stilted comic photographer got a picture of your scared reactions, and those will be available on the way out for a gold piece or more.
You're just stilted photographer. It's important that you know he's stilted.
So since I talked about dads earlier, it's only fair that I talk about moms. I don't remember mine very well. She died when I was pretty young. I have this picture of her in my head, but that's kind of all I got left now. Moms are tough, you know?
Yeah.
But not tough enough to beat Stygian sickness.
Right.
Anybody know anyone out there with SS? Maybe one day they'll find a cure. It was awful seeing her towards the end, you know? To see her turn from this strong, powerful woman into this monster was hard to watch. In the end, when Dad finally slayed her at my 12th birthday party, I was kind of emotionally drained. I didn't feel sorry for her anymore because she was so far gone. I was more concerned about all the blood and viscera on my birthday cake. It made the candles really hard to light. But I do know that if she's up in the Aether looking down on me, she's incredibly disappointed. All my brothers died in battle. They fulfilled their duties. I can't even do that right. I'm sorry, Mom. And this is where my hot assistant would come back and wheel in the fake guillotine, and I'd fake decapitate myself.
I don't think that's the way you want to go, buddy. That's not a...
I haven't worked out the specifics.
Well, that's not battle.
It's pretty close.
Alright.
I'm gonna paint a watermelon to look like my head.
Put some googly eyes on it.
Oh my god, guys. I got you again. 2 fake suicides in one show. This guy's a regular Donnie Rangerfield.
Are you fun yourself?
And that second photograph will be available in the lobby on the way out, by the way. You guys are way too easy. But seriously, guys, thanks for sitting here and listening to me. I'm glad you didn't boo at all. The end.
That was really from the heart.
Yep.
I'll give it that.
But only 2 fake suicides? I don't know.
I'm probably not going to use this draft. I'll have to make more.
Another 10 years. Okay.
What about what the fruit
you
pieces
see the
do?
pile of fruit, sort of small amount of air blows through your hair.
Yum. You got any stories, Drain?
Anybody got any stories? Anyone else? Everyone's just sort of looking at you. What about you guys? He points to Drain.
Alright. I got one. Don't ask me how I know it, because even I don't know. Bartok, the defender of the realm.
That bat from Fern Gully?
No. That guy from Cube Zero.
I am into this.
Alright.
Bartok.
Water. That's a reference people will get.
Now I want to know what the name of the bat from Fern Gully is.
It's Bartok.
I think he's just batty.
I thought it was Bartok. I think it's
Is it?
Bartok.
One sec, I'm finding out. It's Batty Coda, voiced by Robin
Coda.
Williams.
On a particularly sunny day in the High Realm, Bartok the Barbarian was working out on his land when his longtime friend Gil the Fleet arrived. Being overcome with joy, he hurriedly ran to embrace his longtime best friend and confidant. Giving him the world. After embracing him, they shared the world's greatest high five that resounded throughout the entire High Realm. Bartok yelled to his wife, "Jill, get out here! Your brother's here!" Out stepped Jill the Sweet.
Oh.
We're getting Gil the Fleet backstory.
Like 3 episodes too late.
Too bad he's a mass of goo now.
And out stepped a petite little elf. She saw her brother Gil and excitedly yelled for their son, Will.
Will the...
He's too young to have a suffix.
You prescribed that when you earned it.
They don't know what he's going to be like yet.
Otherwise, everyone would just be something to the baby.
Bartok invited him in for dinner, and then later that evening they had a campfire chat where Bartok asked Gil how the fate of the realm was and stopping the Evergreen Army. Gil said, "Not too good. We're kind of just not doing anything about it."
Too deep! Too deep! Too close to home!
We've kind of we've been kind of trying to make some allies, but no real progress. This is where I came to you, Bartok. We're gonna go to the Eastern Continent for my friend Grayson's family wedding / funeral. Family funeral? It sounds like more than one. How many of them died? I think all of them. You seem pretty sad.
Well, I'll say, I don't know what I'd do if something happened to any of you.
Oh. But alas, I can't go with you.
Dad has to go to the cleric tomorrow to be mended after his huge battle. And I'll need to be there to make sure he doesn't do anything too strenuous. Gil says, understandable. Sounds like you'll have quite a bit on your hands. Thanks, man. Look at what he gave me. Then he pulls out a broadsword called Gale. They say it is as life as a leaf on the wind. And watch its wielder soar.
Not again.
This will be very useful for this trial cave I've been working on. They say whoever solves all 4 trials will gain the power to unite all the realms. Nice, man. How's it been going? The trials have been pretty easy. The worst was trying to kill those 3 dragons, but luckily, I killed them with the power of death metal that I learned from Johnny Dames Rio.
Well, the next morning, Gil left to go to the Eastern Continent. Bartok wished him good luck, and Gil said, I don't need it. I never need it.
But he did.
So after his dad got back from surgery, visiting the cleric, he had to nap, so Bartok went to the trial cave. When he got to the final trial, out stepped forward a hideous creature. It looked as if a troll, a goblin, and a gremlin melted. All of their positive traits evaporated, and the rest was cast into one hideous creature.
I am Caleb, keeper of the final chamber.
Well, Mr. Man. Oh, wait, this is Bartok. Well, Mr. Man, you sure are hideous. So, what's the final trial you got for me?
If you wish to complete your trial, you must regale me with a tale for a while.
Can I tell you a story about my people or background that I know from the top of my head?
Nah, you gotta leave for like 2 weeks, then come back and tell me a tale from Lore of the Realm.
Are you sure there isn't something I can kill? How about you?
If you go and murder me, you'll never get the magic key.
Is that what I sound like?
No, that's
Maybe.
what Cal Ebb sounds
That's
like.
what Cal
Is
Ebb.
that what I sound like?
I'm just projecting myself, sorry. That's all me.
Can I tell you one just right now?
You must go and write it down, or else my smile will turn to frown.
Come on, man.
Your misery pleases me.
Bartok with disgust left the cave and went home to help his pap. When he had time, he headed to the great library. He tried to pay somebody to write him a tale, but they were like, nah man, that's lame. As the 2 weeks came to a close, Bartok headed back to the cave.
Cal Ebb said,
Oh yes, I await your tale.
Behold, the tale of Lothar the Immortal. There was once a great hero known far and wide, seeking greater fame and fortune.
Does this story feature a guy stealing a story?
No. On his adventures, he came across the tale of a great wizard who crafted the amulet that would let his love live with him forever. He made their love power the amulet, as love is one of the most enduring things there is. Something went terribly wrong, though. The amulet sucked the love out of her, leaving her a heartless monster.
Just like me!
yeah, I guess so.
The wizard had to kill her, and to protect anyone else, he had hid the amulet in a cave and left something horrible to guard it. Not being afraid of what it could be, Lothar went to the cave and to a small chamber lit by a single sunbeam. The light shone on a pedestal holding up the amulet. The pedestal was surrounded by a crater with a small pathway slightly lower than the surrounding edges. He examined the area, but nothing seemed to be out of place. He walked up the path and grabbed the amulet. Nothing happened. He donned the amulet and was greeted by the sound of running water. He panicked. He didn't know where to go, but before he could react, it stopped just above the bridge, so his feet got a little wet. But other than that, it seemed fine.
No.
That's when something bubbled to the surface. Lily pad rose to the surface, each with a frog on it.
Oh, gosh.
As he laughed, when he saw the frog started to sing, he felt himself change into a frog, and then understood the gravity of his situation. Just then, the frog attacked. As he was tackled, he regained his human form. He was relieved, but then the frog started singing again. Then he was attacked again. After repeating this process, he wished for death, but then realized his fate. He could not die because of the amulet. He would repeat this process until the end of time.
Oh, great story!
Thanks. I guess. It sounded pretty miserable to me.
Well, misery loves company.
Just then, Caleb cast a spell and Bartok
No.
saw a vision of Gil dying.
No!
Like what you see?
And then Caleb opened the final chamber.
You may proceed. Save your realm.
Overcome with grief, Bartok grabbed his sword and said, "To hell with the realm," and decapitated Caleb. Giving up on his quest, Bartok ventured home and told Jill, "Pack your things. We're leaving. I quit." And there it is.
Man. Is it just me, or does that Caleb guy sound real cool?
Pretty
He
sweet.
sounds hot.
I got like a sexy vibe coming off of that guy.
Yo, Dad!
So what did you think about that, Jermanko?
It was beautiful. It was great. Were you doing an impression of me when you were reading that story?
No, that's just what Caleb sounds like.
He sounds like a cool guy. I want to be friends with him.
No, you don't.
Okay. The pile of fruit glows, and then a small amount of air blows through your hair again.
Well, I'm gonna smash the fruit with my feet.
Okay. And as you do, you can sort of feel getting lightheaded again. You all sort of begin to collapse on the ground. And then you hear...
I was already collapsed.
Quest for adventure.
You actually get sucked into the ground.
No!
And then you hear sort of a... And you hear... Up your loving arms, watch out, here I come, you spin me right round, baby, right round, right like a record. And then you see Bill Quickfeet standing in the doorway,
Yeah!
wearing a
nuts.
dress.
I'm running, kick him in the nuts.
My wing dong! The end. Alright, guys. I had a lot of fun. What about you? David? A lot of fun? Or a whole lot of fun?
I know David had like a ton of fun.
At least
Yeah.
one ton
2,000
of feathers
pounds of fun.
Spencer,
Yeah.
who's your secret winner for this week?
Well, I know the obvious winner was Bartok, but my secret winner have to be, and I'm not going to say his name because I'll get it wrong, but the guy that hosted Reading Rainbow.
Oh, LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton, that's right.
Yeah. He's always the secret winner. What's your secret password?
My secret password is Grandma's going to sue the pants off of Santa.
Bobby, who's your secret winner this week?
Well, this week my secret winner was Lothar the Immortal,
Oh, yeah.
because he can't catch a break.
Poor guy.
Never will.
He caught one break, that goose poop.
What?
That goose poop?
Lothar, not
sorry.
Rupert.
No. Well, I don't know. Wait, what? That's my character. What was
Right.
What was the other guy?
Lothar.
Oh, that was
He just-
Dandy Hook.
Dandy
Dandy
Hook.
Ragamuffin.
That's
Sorry.
right. Name
Yeah,
of the
Lothar is
Lothar is the one who got turned
Frogged.
into a frog over and
story.
over.
Oh,
And
the
then- yeah.
story in the story. That's
Right.
See, you wrote
Oh,
you wrote 2 stories. I think that's why it was so hard for you.
And my secret password is Large Marge's Play-Doh face.
What about you, Dave? Who's your secret winner for this week?
my secret winner is me. For that 1 second, I put on the headphones and heard cardboard cutout of Dak Shepard, and then gave the headphones back to Connor so he could enjoy it some more. And my secret password is a cardboard cutout of Dak Shepard.
I know who I'm voting for.
Wow, you must have really liked my story. That's what I got from that. My secret winner this week is going to be goose poop because it's just the MacGuffin that keeps on giving. That's what I say.
Yeah.
And my secret password, I wrote it down. You said, I believe you said poop face earlier. My secret
mouth.
password is, it's poop mouth is, I wrote sphincter mouth because I thought that was funnier.
Yeah.
My handwriting's bad, so now my password is sphincter meat. All right, guys. Well, if you want to submit a theme for next week, then you can submit it to us on Facebook. We're at Quest for Adventure. Twitter, we're at Quest4Ad. We're at quest-for-adventure.com. Our email is thequestforadventure@yahoo.com. We are on iTunes, and we are on YouTube. So you can leave us a comment there, or leave us a review. A 5-star review, or a 4-star
Review-tube.
review on YouTube. Leave us a 3-star review in the Michelin Guide. That's a food thing for the people who don't get that joke.
I didn't get it.
Not our demographic.
5 stars for goose poop.
5 stars.
So do we not have a theme for this week?
We do have a theme for this week. It is all the single ladies.
Aw.
Yeah. You hear that, Ray? That was submitted by
Ray.
Ray, who's not just a mathematical concept, apparently. He's apparently
Nice.
a person who gives us bad themes.
Is he a drop of golden sun?
No. No, he's not.
I don't think I know what that means.
Oh,
I am
come
not
on,
the
that's a
demographic for
good-
that joke.
A Sound of Music joke? No?
Nope.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got that one. I didn't get the Michelin thing.
Well, yeah, one of them was probably funny.
Female dear. Ray, a drop of golden sun.
All right, well, I think that's it for this week.
I need you to get this joke.
Thank you for your enthusiasm, Spencer.
You're welcome.
All right, well, I guess that's it, everybody.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.